I'm a loser. Nobody cares about me. I don't have any respect. Nothing worth living for. I don't have a real job. Didn't follow a traditional career path. Nothing to fall back on. All of these are things that I've been told throughout my journey. When I decided to pursue basketball early on in my life, I was told that I was insane. That I need to be going out on the weekends and participating in what society deems as cool by drinking and partying and all that stuff, which I dabbled in very little. Never enjoyed it. Never enjoyed drinking and getting drunk and being around that shit. Yet I was called a loser for not wanting to do that. Because I was dedicated and wanted to take my career in athletics to the top. Now, did I ever make the NBA? No. But I played overseas and made it pretty far in that top percentage. Stopped because of injuries. Then the next chapter, I decided to become an entrepreneur and get into real estate. All over again. You're crazy. Get a real job. You don't care about anybody but yourself. You should help out your family. I don't know if any of you can relate. I've been hearing that my whole life. Every single step that I've taken and every desire that I've had has gone against the grain and against the norm. And I've been socially just berated because of it. Even with what I do online. Everyone claims that they crave honesty and transparency, authenticity. Yet my platforms were destroyed for following that. So how is it that what we want and what goes with our nature and what we are naturally inclined to do is being punished and categorized socially and as a society as weird? Doesn't make any sense. I've dealt with this my whole life. From my childhood, when I said I desired certain things, to buy certain things, to live a certain life, I was crazy. You weren't born into that. It's not going to happen, right? So on and so forth. So am I crazy? What's going on? And many of you who maybe resonate with what I'm talking about in this channel seem to be in line with what I'm talking about. You feel what I'm saying. You understand. You're like, yes, he gets it. Kind of like when I used to look at Kobe. When everyone was like, dude, this dude's nuts. I'm like, yes, I get it. So have you been called a loser? Because I have a lot. By people who themselves, I would consider that they're the loser, not me. They're not willing to go against the grain. They're not willing to go after what they want without apology. They're not willing to go through the ringer like I have in every area of my life to get better at certain things. They're not willing to be bold. They're not willing to be open and expose themselves to criticism. So, for those of you watching, which path are you going to choose? It's the safe path that everybody does that leads to mediocrity, or what you truly and innately desire as a human being, which is what you want. It's your life, not anyone else's. Just like from my perspective, it's their life, not mine. So who am I to tell them what to do or what they should do or what they shouldn't do? I can give an opinion if they ask for it, sure. Y'all can come to me and, I want to be great at sales or public speaking or marketing, whatever it is, and I can teach you, but that's a choice. You hire me, you pay me to help you with those things. That's different. I'm not just spewing stuff on you. You need to do this and you need to do that. Who the hell would I be to tell you that? I remember being on the phone early on in my career in real estate and being told that I'm the worst salesperson. I am a loser. Get a real job. All these things that I talked about in this video. Did I listen to them? No. Because it came from people who are in a position who are not qualified to give me that advice. Lesson number 1 of this video. How many of you listen to people and take advice from people who are absolutely 1000% unqualified? Because of these social stigmas. Well, you should listen to everybody. You need to be open to criticism from the right people. That's like me going across the street to the bum and saying, hey man, can you give me some financial advice? Well, I should listen to everybody, right? He's going to drop some nuggets on me. He's a fucking bum that lives on the street. What is he going to tell you about finances? And even if he is some brilliant guy, he's not practicing what he preaches. Next. Oh, well, no, you shouldn't judge people. All these stupid social little sayings and things and opinions that we, without even realizing it, are living our lives based on that. Many of you will come to me, even on my free stuff on YouTube, and I'll give you some help from my perspective through experience, and you say, well, you said this, but mommy and daddy said this. And then you weigh our advice evenly in sales or real estate or whatever it is, and they've never done real estate or sales. They know nothing about entrepreneurship. Yet in your mind, you're like, wait, Bryan and mommy and daddy. Insanity. But nobody stops and says, hey, take a look. Who should you really listen to? Who cares what's cool or what people tell you? Who should you listen to? Because I learned this lesson very early on. And I didn't care what people say. Oh, you should listen to everybody. I don't give a shit. You shouldn't judge all the stupid shit that people say. That's not reality. That's that social media fake world, the little social mask world. I'm not a part of that, nor will I ever be. Which is why honesty, transparency, authenticity, and all the stuff that we crave, even though it's shunned and shadow banned and censored and all that, breaks through, because it's like a lightning bolt that strikes through all of that nonsense. And truth and reality cannot be denied and will always come out on top. Period, point blank. That's it. End of discussion. But this first lesson is huge. How many of you are taking unqualified advice? And I want you to take stock right now and say, okay, who am I listening to help me with things? Step 2, who have you appointed to say, you're the teacher, you're the mentor, you're the coach, help me, and dedicated yourself to them? How many of you have done that? Actors would understand that. High-level martial artists would understand that. High-level athletes would understand what I said, like I did. My coaches and people that I paid and helped me, I dedicated my life to them, and their word was law in my life because I appointed them and said, I'm listening to you. Whatever mommy and daddy or someone else said was secondary to what the coach said. I didn't care what other people said. And many of you refuse to take that step, and that's why you're perpetually stuck with what you're doing, mediocre, average, above average, right? And you never break through in these areas of life, again, that you seek to excel in, because that's what it's going to take. First step, make sure you're only taking qualified advice. Number 2, you appoint somebody specifically in these areas. You're going to help me in here. I'm only going to listen to you. I'm going to get my boxing coach here, my sales coach here, and right? And many people don't even do the first one. But then the people that do the first never do the second one. Then they wonder why, hey, I can't really get ahead of the competition. Not doing what you need to do. Those are the first 2 things. Now, in that process, people will berate you. I remember the first event that I went to, a big event, right? I went to a Tony Robbins event with my boy Colton and AJ. Shout out to them, right? We had a small mastermind. We went like elite diamond, like, 3 rows from the front. We each paid, I think, like $7,000 to go. UPW, Unleash the Power Within, back in like 2015, I think it was. They did it in LA. 3-day event, right? We're sitting in the front with celebrities. Josh Altman, a bunch of, like, I think that dude that wrote the book, The 4-Hour Workweek, Tim Ferriss, I think is his name, right? Like a bunch of people, right? All around us. I remember my parents, right? Shout out mom and dad, I love you guys. And other people, oh, you're crazy. You paid to go to an event. How are you just going to give away your money like that? Blah, blah, blah. Didn't give a shit. Why? That opinion they can give for sure. But if it's advice, it's unqualified. It's unqualified. They are not in a position. They can say what they want. They're entitled to their opinion. Absolutely. But is it qualified advice? No. And I can make that judgment myself as an intelligent human being that uses logic and reason. And if anybody has a problem with that, I don't care, because you will try to be shamed. The tactic is shaming. And this seeps into every area of our life. For those of you still watching, it's a blessing for you. Go on Facebook right now or your Instagram and make a post critiquing yourself, shitting on yourself. Oh man, I'm so bad. And watch how people come and clap for you and help you. But the moment you want to give yourself any praise or credit, watch how quickly those same people will shut it down or ignore what you post. Oh man, you need to get off your high horse and this and that. Same thing with people who say that I'm too arrogant or whatever, when I simply, a lot of times, will share, hey, I accomplished this, I did this, I told you I would do this and I did it, and suddenly that's cocky or arrogant or self-righteous or whatever. Fucking insanity. But see, they don't realize, I don't get mad at them because they don't realize they're under that spell that society has cast on all of us, where we're afraid to even say, I did good. You're quick to shit on yourself, critique yourself, and literally mentally destroy yourself with criticism. That's okay and that's celebrated. But to give yourself any credit, to boost your own confidence, even with reality and facts, is absurd. It's out of the question. You can't do that. Insane! And this is the world that we live in. Can you believe that? But nobody stops and says, whoa, what the hell is going on here? But the shaming tactic is everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. That's that same tactic that showed up in the beginning. You're a loser and this and that. It's a shame. Think of peer pressure. When you go out, you don't want to drink, they force you to drink. Peer pressure. That's shame. We're going to shame you socially for everybody. This is trickled and riddled in everything in society. And people are not bold enough to stand there and say, you know what? Take that drink and shove it up your ass. Take that cigarette and put it out. I'm not going to willingly poison myself because it's cool to do. I don't give a shit about that social acceptance. And the cool thing is, being a rebel like that from a social standpoint actually gives you more value because you don't conform. Everything is counterintuitive, from sales to communication to relationships to attraction to everything. It's counterintuitive, and you need to learn the real information and the rules of the game and forget what society and people are telling you. Otherwise, you will never thrive. I've gone against the grain, been the rebel, and studied all this information, and I've constantly been able to succeed and keep moving forward and grow and create a life and reality for myself that blows people's fucking minds. That a lot of the stuff I have to tune down because people don't believe me. When I've told people, yeah, I've made well over $1 million in a year, certain people are like, wait, how do you do that? You only get like 1,000 views per video. Like, because they only think like this. That's all they see is my channel right now being suppressed and not getting views. So to them, how can that equal? But there's so much that they don't see because they only watch a couple YouTube videos. You see? But this is that mind, right? Our mindset, our perspective, our beliefs, our philosophies, our identity gets shaped by all this, by those influences. And you have to really wonder to yourself right now, what are your influences? Who are you spending time around? Who are you learning from? Because when you take that right advice, that starts to shift tremendously. Then you get those coaches and mentors, and they help you even more. You have more contact with them, more conversations, learning more directly from them. Oh, now everything we just talked about starts to wither away and melt away, and suddenly you step into a new life, new beliefs, new philosophies, new identity. Now, right, those first 2 points, okay, breathing new life into you, new character, right? You're going after what you want. Suddenly you have more energy. Remember, y'all, especially for you, those of you who have been around for a long time, this contagious energy that I have supposedly has to be me being on drugs or something wrong with me. Because according to them, how could I be almost 40 years old and still be youthful and have a bunch of energy? It's impossible. You have to be on something. Adderall or cocaine or whatever the fuck it is that people say. Insanity. I'm just healthy because I prioritize that and I take care of myself. I have never-ending energy. Sleep like a baby, right? But see, I prioritize that and I got the right people to help me in all these categories. And the same advice that I'm giving you, I followed. But to those people, they don't follow that advice. A lot of times, even these types of videos, when I look at the comments, I scratch my head. I'm like, how did that person come to that conclusion or have that question watching this video? From a basic learning and comprehension standpoint, they're like at a 1 out of 10. They can't even watch a simple video like this or many of the others that I do and even grasp the concepts that I'm talking about. And I've had a lot of Zoom consultations with people like who join my coaching, and they're like, yeah, man, I had to start watching you for a long time because a lot of stuff that you talked about in the beginning went over my head. And then as I learned more, as I started paying more attention and growing and developing, I started getting a lot more from your videos. Exactly. It's gonna be like that with me and certain subjects and that kind of stuff. Because this isn't just the standard regurgitated bullshit that 99% of the internet is giving you. I'm challenging your beliefs and the way that you think. I'm challenging the worldviews. I'm challenging society. I'm challenging all of that. And for a lot of people, that's a clash initially. They're like, oh, I don't like this guy because what is he talking about? Or it's too much. Good. I want to rattle that cage and rattle you a little bit. Good. If you've ever been triggered by my videos, fantastic. That means I poked at an insecurity or something within you that you need to handle, just like it happened to me before, right? And we pass the torch, and this is how this process continues. But at the other end of that, following these steps and understanding these concepts is not a loser, it's a fucking champion that no one's gonna stop. A version of you that everybody would be proud of, a version of you that's successful, has developed his character or her character, right? Communication skills on point, relationships strong and bountiful and fulfilling. A life worth living, a life that other people would envy and be jealous of. A life and character traits that people admire, that they want to emulate. Being in a position where you now can give in abundance to the world, to your family, to your loved ones, or to whoever you decide to give to. Isn't that really what it's about? When I first started this journey I never thought I'd be able to be on video like this and unprompted, unscripted, do 15, 20, 30 minutes of talking. And now I've done events where I get flown out. I don't even prepare, and I'll speak for 3 or 4 hours, and it's a cakewalk. I'm like, I could go 3 more. Let's go. That's cool. I know very few people on the planet that can do that. And I'm not saying I'm the best. But the fact that I've been able to develop that, and then knowing people who knew me back then, if you asked them, would Bryan be able to do that? They would say, hell no. That's cool. That's fucking awesome. And you can do the same if you follow the blueprint and the steps and you dedicate yourself to it and you're like, this is important to me. Otherwise, nothing's going to change. So, are you going to be the champion or the loser? It's up to you. But this is the reality of the situation, y'all. Okay, so I appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm going to cut it off right here. Check out the links in the description for everything, guys. I'm giving away a ton of stuff. We have that Black Friday discount code on my website still going on. Those of you really looking to step up and already start 2025 the right way, check out Distinguished Agent and the coaching programs that I have. Now is the time to sign up. You guys know, if you've been following for a long time, the prices keep going up. So stop waiting, stop being on the fence. I share testimonials and what people are doing all the time. You know it's the real deal. All right, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment. Best thing you can do is share these videos as well to push it onto the algorithm, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.